And welcome back to another episode of Born to Talk About Sports. I am your host, Steve Bourne. Sorry, I'm a little excited this morning, recording this on Sunday, April 30th. But to quote Steve Dangle, the Leafs win! They finally break the curse. 19-year drought. You can end those first round memes, those first round jokes. It's over. The Leafs eliminate the Tampa Bay Lightning last night, 2-1 in overtime. John Tavares with the overtime winner just throws out in front. Off Radish is skating in. Doesn't matter. They all count. Leafs are going off to the second round. They get the winner of Game 7 tonight between Boston and Florida. No one expected that series to go 7. No one expected it to even go past 5. Boston's goaltending hasn't been great, and that was my one worry. Everyone said, "Oh, Boston, they're proving they're legit," and I kept on saying all year, Linus Ullmark is not proven in the playoffs. He was horrible last year, and he's been mediocre to bad this year. Florida's been unstoppable since they made the goalie change from Lyon to Bobrovsky. Lyon carried them into the playoffs, just couldn't do it. Bobrovsky came in, and look what's happened now. Congrats to the Edmonton Oilers. They beat the Kings one game quicker than last year. Their depth did it. A broken stick kept LA in the game, but Kyler Yamamoto late in the game. Again, that's what depth does. I mean, the Leafs' big guns this year carried them through the first round. Their quote-unquote core four of forwards all average more than a point a game. Morgan Rielly, what can I say? The guy's a literal playoff warrior. He's got 2 shiners to prove it. A couple of huge goals set up the screen in front for Radish to take him, and it went off Radish's skating in. But yet, no, Leafs are going on. We can end the jokes. You can still keep your 67 jokes, at least for another month and a half or so. But those first round playoff choker jokes, please throw that in the garbage can. My other big news is now I want to congratulate my sister and my brother-in-law on the birth of Alexis Michelle Dial. She was born on April 15th, and she is the cutest thing you'll ever see. I know I'm being biased, but I don't give a crap. Mommy and baby are doing great, doing fantastic, and after last night, father is doing quite well himself. But yeah, so that's I'm getting this out of my system. Let me enjoy this, people, please. Thank you. Blue Jays, 6 wins in a row now. Starting pitching, Manoah struggled a little bit on Friday night. Still got through 5. Only allowed 2 runs or less. 2 runs. That's 10 times through the last 10 games. Toronto Blue Jays pitching has allowed 2 runs or less in going at least 5 innings. And the Jays bullpen this entire homestand has been damn near perfect, as close as damn as to swearing. So things are looking up right now in Toronto sports land as well. I know the Raptors got bounced a little earlier than they expected, but if you believe the reports, the Raptors are close to history. Can't remember the name off the top of my head right now, but the coach of the Las Vegas WNBA champion Las Vegas Aces is considered the favorite for the Toronto Raptors job, and that would be the first female head coach in Big Four North American sports history to be a head coach in a men's league. So keep an eye out for that. Only one Game 7 in the NBA in the first round, and that is Sacramento Golden State. Second round of the NBA is actually already underway with Denver beating Phoenix last night. And so some exciting times right now in sports land, but I was going to record this last week, and done, recorded, ready to go up, and out of space on the phone. Phone is 4 years old, time to get a new phone, and so that's what's happened here. I've got my new phone, recorded, this should go up, not a problem. And so what I was talking about last week, and I'll talk about again that you didn't see, and I'll doing a new version this week, is Steve's Peeves Volume 3, and that's broadcasters. National broadcasters are supposed to remain perfectly unbiased, call the game, talk about both teams equally, show excitement for both teams equally. If you're going to do a player focus, do one player on each team, not one player in the game, because again, that show almost leaning towards one side. I've seen it too many times on the national broadcast where if it's Edmonton or whatever, and whoever, the entire broadcast is basically a Connor McDavid loving. And I've seen it with the Leafs too, where the entire broadcast is an Austin Matthews loving or a Mitch Marner or whoever the hottest Leaf is at the time. And to me, that takes away from the broadcast. If you're going to do a spotlight on a player, do one for each team. Make it a reason to care about both teams. Because a national broadcast, you're not catering to a fan base. You're catering to a general audience. And then sometimes you get the Homer broadcast. And to me, there's a fine line for Homer broadcasts. You've got your Jack Edwards in Boston on New England Sports Network, or NESN, who is so over the top Homer, he actually laughs at the other team. And I get it, but you're still a broadcaster. You're not a fan. That's the difference. And then there's a Homer broadcast on the radio. I'm sure every Leaf fan knows him. Holy Mackinaw himself, Joe Bowen. And check out Leafs Jelly on YouTube. They post all the Leaf highlights with Joe Bowen's call, and they sync up Joe Bowen and Jim Ralph's call. For all Leaf fans, I suggest checking them out. Leafs Jelly 84, I believe it is. But just Google Joe Bowen Leaf highlights, and it'll pop right up. Fantastic channel. Those guys do an amazing job. Where Bowen will get excited for the Leaf goals. Morgan Riley, Mo, Johnny Toronto, the Wizard Mitch Marner, stuff like that. But also when the opposition scores, it's not just throw the puck in and shoot and scores. He still goes, oh, and they score! He still shows excitement for what's going on the ice. Sure, he's a homer for the Leafs, but that's his job because he's pandering to that audience. But also, he's also showing integrity that he's not just a fan. He's also doing his job. And then you've got, unfortunately, it's a thing with Sportsnet and TSN co-owning the Leafs. That Sportsnet with the national broadcast, and then they've got regional games as well. And they usually do their national broadcast guys do the regional Leaf games with Chris Cuthbert and Craig Simpson. And then TSN with Gord Miller and formerly Ray Ferraro's gone to the States, but now with Chris Johnson or Mike Johnson between the benches. And both sides have had national broadcast experience. With Gord Miller doing all the Team Canada international stuff for the juniors and world championships. And then when TSN had the national rights, he had to do an unbiased broadcast, and it comes across still like, even though it's regional for strictly Leaf fans, it's still coming across as an unbiased broadcast. And where it's like, you still want the homerism that it's like, because you're pandering to it, but you don't want it like over the top. There's a fine line, and I feel with the regional coverage for at least Toronto, I don't know how it is across the league, I'm sorry, out in Western Canada or Montreal or whatever, whoever Sportsnet does regionally as well as nationally. But it comes across as that they're treating every Leaf game, no matter what you see, if it's a Sunday through Saturday, as a national broadcast on television, and you don't get that little homerism or more info about the Leafs. In fact, they usually give more info about the other team. Maybe it's because they assume everybody knows everything about the Leafs and they're just trying to fill in information about the other team. But it comes across sometimes as you're almost pumping up the other team. And when you want to watch a team on a regional broadcast, you want to cheer. You want the announcers to, act like they're here for the Leafs, not they're here to call a game. And there's a fine balance. I think Joe Bowen does a perfect job of a fine balance. There's a reason he's been doing Leaf games radio and TV for over 30 years. He will not disparage the other team. He will not laugh at the other team or do anything. He treats both teams equally, but of course he will be the homer for the Leafs, and that's what you want. So that's my little beef on broadcasters, is sometimes you got to find a fine balance, and a lot of broadcasters will stray away from it, or they just figure, I've been in the game long enough, I'll do my own thing. And for some fans, I know I'm probably looking too much into this, but it drives me nuts, especially and I see it in other sports too, like with the Chicago White Sox. He actually called the opposition the bad guys. I'm sorry, you're a broadcaster, not a fan. Find a balance. That's all I'm asking, is for the over-the-top homer broadcasters, find a balance. If you're a regional broadcaster, don't treat it like a national televised game. Be a bit more favorite to the regional team you're covering, but don't go full monotone and don't go full homerism. But again, yeah, that's my show today. Again, go Leafs, go Johnny T. There we go. It's all good in Leafland right now. I know it's only one round, but the weight of the world is off the shoulders right now. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the Leafs actually win maybe another round now that the hump is off their back. But I might be doing a midweek video to make some second round predictions. Might be as early as tomorrow or Tuesday. Might be Tuesday before round 2 starts. I might just do a quick video for NHL second round predictions. But until then, stay safe. Summer is coming. Spring is coming. It's supposed to warm up within the next week or so, at least here in Southern Ontario. Until then, use the hashtag BourneSports. Like, subscribe, share this video. And yeah, everybody take it easy out there.